I am putting out the intention that this video appears when you have accepted your dark feminine energy. Now, this message for my collective regarding dark feminine energy has actually been coming up a lot, and I have been writing down my thoughts as different things come up. So I'm going to go through what I've been writing, and then we're going to do a tarot card reading and a spirit animal reading. Okay, so let me just get into this. So there's this whole dynamic of dark feminine energy, light feminine energy, and it's become a popular term, but it's become more popular in the sense of, at least what I've been seeing, makeup, fashion, and I do see some stuff about mindset, but it's overly reliant on makeup and fashion. So what I want to get into is the mindset part of it and how it kind of relates to womanhood and what it is that we go through as women. If you're in my collective, you are a nature person. You love, here's Malu, by the way, she's going to be a regular in these videos. You like to spend time in nature, you connect with animals, you connect with the weather, you probably relate to being an earth angel, a siren. And I think that there is this dynamic of, you know, people who are really into nature are super calm and serene and, you know, just really, really slow and speak like this. Not everybody, I don't want to stereotype, but that's what people think of people who are like super into nature. And, you know, in reality, nature is violent. And in reality, when we think of the earth, you know, it's not just rainbows and sunshine. There are storms with lightning and thunder. There are predators like little Malu. But I'm talking about like predators, like I'm talking about like cheetah, lions, sharks, orcas, predators like that who hunt their prey. And, you know, a lot of people don't understand how truly violent that is. And, you know, I went on a safari, and it was kind of like an internship / safari. And the guide was saying that a lot of people wish to see, you know, a hunt. And everyone where their wish came true said they hated the experience because it's not this, like quick thing. Sorry, this is going to be a really raw message. So, you know, be prepared for that. A trigger warning, I guess, if you don't like hearing about stuff like this. It isn't quick. Like, the animal is usually still alive while it's being hunted. And I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but the point is, just like nature is violent, human nature is also violent. In the sense that there is this darkness that consumes some of us, but it's not in the evil way that a lot of darkness is construed. So, when I'm kind of going all over the place with what my notes I wrote down, but here's an example. When you're a mother, I can't say what it's like to be a mother of a child. I can say what it's like to be a mother of my pet. which I know for some people is totally different scale. Totally understandable. I get that. But let's take us out of it then. A mama bear, a lioness, a mother wolf, a stray cat that's a mother. She's not a stray, but you know what I mean. They'll rip your face off. They'll kill you. Like a mother bear. That's why you don't want to see one in the woods, because they will kill you. And, you know, I just think that sometimes that's an event that triggers that out of you, is motherhood. But the energy that I'm getting from my collective is this is what I wrote. Sultry, seductive energy that has this overwhelming contrast of serenity, but also protective, like a mama bear. Okay? Oh, and then this was a note that came up. So the movie The Mother with Jennifer Lopez, I haven't seen it in a little while, but it is a really good movie. And then they have a portrayal of a wolf that's like kind of going through the same thing as her when it comes to motherhood and like survival. But a message that came up was that, sorry, Malu's like just messing around. Sorry, I hope you can still hear me. But what came up was that you revealed this side of yourself and someone liked it. And there was also another event in your life when you realized it was time to accept your dark feminine energy. Okay? So I'm called to take a break from my notes for a second and get to the cards. A lot of my messages are catered towards feminine, right? So when I talk about feminine, and I know I say this a lot in my videos, you know, I'm not just talking about woman, even though this message, as it's been coming up, has been really specific to women, for the women in my collective. But the point I'm trying to stress here is that the perspective of what we see as womanhood changes as we go through different stages of life. Okay? And, interesting. 5. If 5 keeps coming up, the number of today's reading might be 555. But also, what's interesting is that as we mature, and okay, I'll dive deeper into this then. But as we mature, okay, we sometimes go from light feminine to dark feminine. And when we talk about different feminine energies, they are used for different things. So, as an example, dark feminine energy can come out when you are a mother and you are being protective, or you are in conflict and you have to defend yourself or someone else. So let's dive into a little bit of that. So light feminine energy is sometimes the energy that we grow up with because of the not constraints, but because of how we're raised as women. We're raised as women to be very, and I'm really like, some people are not raised this way. Nothing wrong with that. But overall, and most commonly, we are raised in a sense of having to be really responsible, having to be really maternal, taking care of other people, usually with the color pink, really light colors. And when we step into that energy, sometimes it is that light feminine energy. Let me read what I wrote. So if you are maternal and you have light feminine energy, you usually have aspects of being very supportive, wanting to nourish people. You may be drawn to the daytime, certain colors, and spirit animals that are more social, playful, and sometimes high energy. Think of otters, okay? Really community focused, really social, really communicative, taking care of one another. And you may have a deeper connection with the sun. Actually, let's look at, I want to see if your light feminine energy and my collective, what your spirit animal is right now. So, for my light feminine energies, what is your spirit animal? And you know what? Okay, so the intention of this message has been you have shifted or you have accepted your dark feminine energy. Now, we never get rid of our light feminine energy. We always have both. So what I'm picking up on now, this isn't just for the people who have light feminine. This spirit animal is what your spirit animal used to be, or the other half of you is. Okay, so let's see what that is. Let's see what that is, because then we'll do a dark feminine energy spirit animal and who it is. So, all right. The doe. Interesting. Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know, can you see it? And it literally says femininity, beauty, communicate with peaceful and harmonious spirit. Okay, so the doe, even though this picture is not a picture of a doe, you can think of what, and it's funny because in Native American terms, when we think of the doe, we think of innocence, childhood playfulness, light feminine energy. So the other part of this is when we pick up on this, right? Sorry, that loud sound. They're going to be probably making some loud sounds. This is a prey, right? So what's funny is that it's not funny, but it's interesting. In human psychology, the more predatory, okay, think of like bad people who are preying on people, they literally they start to like have the hormones of a predator, okay, and they start to have like personality characteristics of a literal predator in the wild, which is crazy. And so it's the same way for people, not that you're thinking like prey, but you're like really alert all the time. You're watching your surroundings. You're, probably really cautious. Okay, so maybe this was how you used to be. Okay, I'm gonna put these away for now. We'll come back to it. So now let's get into the dark feminine energy. It's common that for light feminine to be light feminine, especially if you were raised in that, okay? So 1515, as I looked up, as I was saying earlier. Now, dark feminine energy, is sometimes triggered by an event, a spiritual awakening, or a spiritual upgrade. Oh, I think this is also a spiritual upgrade for you. Okay. This is also a spiritual upgrade for you. Okay, I'm gonna do these cards. Give me some insight. Whoa. Pisces, water, 10 again. So 555 is the number of today, or 1010. Happiness, security, emotional stability, and a happy home. Interesting. So yes to the spiritual upgrade. Can I have a little more context to what the spiritual upgrade is? What is it? What is the spiritual upgrade? What? That's crazy. Leadership, vision, mentor, boldness, powerful, mature. So this dark feminine energy is your spiritual upgrade. You are maturing. You've entered a new stage of life. You have this fire in you. Okay. Okay. Wow. And you know what? Some people never reach this stage. This is going to be a bit of a longer reading. Some people never reach this stage. They sometimes stay in this energy of, and like I'm saying, the light feminine energy, it's usually aligned with a bit more immature energy, okay? Not as maybe even philosophically inclined. That just came up. Like you may be even challenging your own life philosophies right now, which is so important as a woman. Okay, so it's not that you change completely. It's that you're accepting your shadow self. You may have started wearing different clothes, listening to different music, maybe even getting the sense that you feel more mature. Oh my God, I wrote that down. Or even mean. Because let's be real. In society, and hot take, okay? Maybe you've noticed, maybe you haven't. In society, when women are considered mean, they're a B word. I don't want to curse on here. And when men are mean, they're seen as assertive and they know what they want. But sometimes, I'm getting like fired up. Fire. Sometimes when you enter this stage, you stop caring about what people say about you. You stop caring what people think about you, how they perceive you, and you start reacting, and you're not really reacting, you're just responding in a way that is not based on perception. It is based on what you know, and it is based on who you have become. And what I'm picking up on is someone whose confidence has gone through the roof because you are no longer BSing yourself. You know your value. You know what it is that you're capable of. You know that your mindset, this little inkling that you had in the back of your mind, was right all along. And you've finally accepted that, and you've finally said, it is okay for me to be mean, especially when it comes to my goals, to my family, to my children, to my money, for my career, for my health, for my beauty. Okay? And kudos to you. Because that right there is so rare that it should be celebrated. And if someone in your life, this just came up in when it popped up. If someone in your life does not like this person that you are becoming, does not like how you know your power and your worth, they were benefiting from you not knowing your worth. Okay? And I'm sorry to say that. They were benefiting. They were. Now, let's go into a little bit more of what I wrote down about dark feminine energy, because it's not, it has so many layers to it. It's really complex. Okay? So, dark feminine energy can be used for different things. Sometimes it comes out in people's sensual, spicy time. Sometimes this is being, and I mean, you know, sometimes this is being unapologetic, blunt, direct. You could be drawn to the nighttime, spirit animals like the owl, nocturnal animals like leopards or bats. So if you're particularly drawn to dusk, probably a deeper connection to the moon. And if you are maternal, you could be fiercely protective, very assertive, and sometimes stubborn. Okay, so we know that our light feminine was the doe. Let's look at the spirit animal for the dark feminine. Spirit, what is my dark feminine collective? What is their spirit animal? The cat. Cat. Malu, are you dark feminine? Independence and wisdom combine strength with gentleness. True power is found in harmonious balance. You know what's crazy? Is that both of these cards have harmonious. Now, when we talk about wisdom, which is something that came up for the cat, wisdom. Wisdom is not just with age. Wisdom is with experience. And wisdom is with, like, being able to learn from a lot of different things. Pick up on lessons from a lot of different things, such as nature, other people's experiences, fairy tales, stories, books, just anything. That's a really important life skill to have. I am going to pause this for a second until they leave. Okay, we are back. And as they were blowing around here, I was shuffling the cards to see if you had any other animals come up. And 3 times a cat came up on the bottom. It was the tiger, the jaguar, and the lion. So I'm gonna see what pops out. Oh my gosh, the lion again. Okay, that's definitely one of them. Oh, and then the owl underneath it. Oh, wow. Wisdom and change. Find wisdom in moments of silence and introspection. What was I just talking about? What was I just talking about? You are wise. You are wise, okay? The lion, power and majesty, lead with courage and inspire others with your strength and compassion, okay? So something interesting about lions is that they're actually really smart. And they're actually one of the few animals that can tell, like knows how to hunt a human. Pretty crazy, right? And then for the social dynamics, they're the only cats that live in a social group like that. Like big cats. Like cheetahs have coalitions, but it's usually like a group of siblings, and then they stay together after birth. And then they kind of like hunt in a pack like that. Pack. Coalition is what they're called. So for your spirit animals and your dark feminine energy, look out for cats, owls, and lions, okay? And what's interesting about all of these animals is that they are nocturnal. So even lions are pretty much nocturnal. They have like day energy, but it's like they're usually snoozing during the day, and they hunt during the night. They have amazing night vision. And yeah, so those, and the other thing is, I spoke about this briefly in my other video. When you have spirit animals, they can be both the spirit animals that are assigned for you when you see them, but also they can be spirit guides. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see what messages are coming through from one of your spirit guides regarding your dark feminine energy. So now I'm going to leave these out. We're going to go to the tarot cards. The cat, the owl, and the lion. Oh, wow. Okay. It only... Right. Okay. The sun, your light feminine energy, and then what came up was the Two of Pentacles. You're balancing these energies. You're balancing them. And maybe you've been living too much in your light feminine, and now you are finally finding the dynamic in order to balance and be more mature and think about everything that's going on in your life. Family. Family. Maybe you're doing it for your family. Okay. Something really deep just came up. In your childhood, you may have had a mother or a feminine figure in your life that may have not given you the emotional stability, the tools, or even the support that you needed to flourish as a woman. And you have had to parent yourself, to mother yourself. And with that mothering, you didn't know that you were neglecting your dark feminine energy. You didn't know that. 555 as I looked up. And now you may even have a daughter, maybe, and even if you don't have a daughter, I'm just picking up on someone who has a daughter and is seeking justice for the childhood and the womanhood that was stolen from them. You want your daughter to be raised in a way that they accept both sides of themselves. And in order for you to do that, you have to accept the shadow self and what has happened to you in your past. That is really powerful. Breaking generational curses, breaking generational trauma is one of the most draining spiritual paths to have, but it is also one of the most rewarding, because you are on a journey unseen. And you know how everyone's talking about breaking generational trauma, breaking this, breaking that. It's new. Okay? And like, it was very against social norms to be breaking generational curses because of how important tradition has always been. But now we're moving towards the landscape of being okay with making new traditions, being okay with breaking free, with having more independence and not having to rely on tradition in order to have livelihood. Because women used to have to do that. We used to have a husband, to have a bank account. And if we this was like 1970s, 1975, I think, that women could open their own bank account. Women couldn't even open their own business without having a husband also be a part of it. Like, all of this is new when it comes to women having freedom. And so this dark feminine energy is also fighting for the women who never had that choice. And that's powerful. That is so powerful. You're freaking badass. Ooh, didn't mean to curse. All right, we got 2 3s coming up. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. I need further... Oh. 3 spirit animals. 3 spirit guides. 3 3 3. 3 3 3. 333. That is the number. If you see that, that is a sign that your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. Okay? Especially in the next 18 days is what I'm hearing. 18 days? Oh, fucking crazy. Oh my god, I keep cursing. Sorry. 3, look, yeah. 333. That's the number. And you know what else? Let's see this, because this comes up sometimes when we've had 3 situations, 3 heartbreaks, just 3 different shifts in our lives that have caused us to have a new perspective. Oh, so it's not just, oh, so you had the mother wound, but you've also had a relationship wound that has caused your dark feminine to emerge. What was the 3rd thing? What was the 3rd event? Grief. A phase of grief that you went through. And through the end of it, you realized that life is short, and it is too short to keep pretending that you are this person who always wants to serve everyone else and not yourself. That's a hard thing to go through, and it changes you. It changes you. You've gone through a lot of changes. You have gone through a lot of changes. You know what? I commend you. I am so proud of you. Please on your journey. Keep looking out for you. Like, nothing wrong with making sure that you are taken care of too. Okay? And let's see what one last message is for you. One last message. This is a really long reading. Yeah, okay. You're finding your community. You are celebrating. You have friendships coming in. And if you wish for something, and if it's 3 again, if you wished for something, your wish is about to be, it's about to come true. Also, the element of water is coming up. So you need to connect with the ocean, a body of water. Yeah, that needs to be high on your list. High on your list. Oh, wow, okay. Now, Spirit, anything else? Anything else? There's this one duck that's sitting at the edge of the pond just looking. It's just sitting there, just watching the pond. It is so cute. Anything else? Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. So, oh my gosh. I'm not even kidding. Look. Wishes coming true. Blah, blah. Look at that. Success, achievement, happiness, rewards, wishes coming true. Water. Yes. Okay. So many good things are happening for you. You have entered this new phase. You've accepted your dark feminine energy. You've been working on your community. You've been healing these wounds, working on your shadow self, accepting your shadow self. And now the universe is about to reward you with wishes coming true, with happiness, with success, with achievement, with just everything. You are about to be rewarded. My beautiful, beautiful collective, that is your message for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Oh my gosh, all of my cards are falling away. If you really resonated with this, you might be a part of my collective. And, I mean, you know, like I said, it's really rare for someone to accept their dark feminine, and you've done that. So, give yourself a round of applause. Thank you so much for being here with me. Your ancestors are looking out for you. Everyone's looking out for you. Make sure you look for 333. And yeah, wow. Just congratulations. And take a deep breath. Know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Confirmation. And everything will work out. Goodbye. Bye.